Confused. Hey, Nana. Hey, Nana.
Hi.
You ready for me to let everyone in?
You can start so I can have a conversation with them before Danny hops on.
Okay, let me let everyone in.
We're gonna have a lot of people, I think,
I hope so. Me too.
because
Some of my guys are in the office already.
and El Monte is hopping on some of them, I think.
Let me see. Let me let everyone in.
And then everything got rain.
Why?
It's kind of red though. Did you guys go out and fucking hop?
Daniel, mute yourself.
What's up, Sahil, Net?
Hey, Court.
Hello,
What's up?
Courtney.
What's up?
What's up, California people? How is everybody doing? Any
Pretty
fun
good.
stories? Anybody wants to share some interesting stories? Any success stories from last week? Anything cool happened? I love like Amir is always the first person to put their name in for our calls. He's like, I'm in. Like, let me type it real quick. I think everybody's slowly hopping on. I know we're gonna have some people today from Austin. I think from San Antonio. I see Noemi represent. There we go. Obviously, we got our beautiful people from LA.
Trying to get everyone
Other
in.
parts. Is our speaker on yet or no?
You said what?
Is our speaker on?
No.
That's funny. Watch not us not having a speaker.
Everyone's gonna be on but the speaker.
That is so funny. Hold on, let me make sure he has a good um good link.
No, he does. I was just talking to him.
Okay, yeah, no, I was just texting him, so
Oh, there he is. He's about to hop on.
there you go. I love how a lot of people have cameras. A lot of people is camera shy, but it's probably because you have a bad hair. That's okay.
I'm driving.
Jason,
That's why my
Jason
camera's
has a
off.
bad
I'm
hair.
Owners
driving.
have cameras. Danny!
I'm
That's
driving.
what I
Owners
feel.
do have cameras
You feel
on.
me?
That is
You feel me? I
called
don't
for my
want to hear that. I'm driving. Don't get on me.
No big deal.
Leave
No
me
big
out
deal.
of that.
what's up, Sahil?
I
Hey,
love how
Danny.
Danny is still in the office, guys, and it's 11:30 wherever Danny is. So like work is life. We love it. Danny told me today that he's 7'2" when he's standing on his wallet. I don't know how I take that info, by the way.
I think we're just waiting on a couple more guys.
Yes, we're waiting for a couple more people. But Danny, we're really excited about hearing your stories. This is such a pleasure.
Hey, Nat, how are you doing?
I am great. Sahil, do you agree that we haven't heard from Danny for a minute? He's been busy opening offices,
Yeah, you just went ghost mode on us.
ghost mode.
It's because when I'm awake, it's like yesterday in California.
He's just running conferences, opening first gens, like making money. He doesn't have time for us, so it's okay.
I
Is
think
that everybody? Can we go ahead and get started?
yeah, screw it, let's do it.
Everybody else, they just gonna second life. It's okay. Meanwhile,
Well,
first
we
of all, I
have
just wanna
we have
say
still Eric and Destiny.
perfect. I know there's a lot of people driving together like always, so it's all good, guys. Please try to have a camera on. If you're doing something inappropriate, then don't. But everybody else, you should not be camera shy. It's okay. As always, welcome everybody to our weekly calls. I know we've been out for a week and a half, so I apologize for the delay that we haven't hang out, but it's just been a lot going on. Sahil and the team was here, my mom was here, so it was super busy, no excuses. But we took a week and a half break, but we're back on track. So our weekly calls, as you guys know, we always run very cool topics or 21 levels of how to get to management every week or twice in a week. We try to squish as many topics as possible. And this past couple times we had a really honor pleasure to meet a lot of cool speakers on our calls and learn from other people, not only from like my organization, but also from other people's organization that kicking our butt. So so today we have a very cool, my coolest speaker that decided to join us. And guys, as you can see, Danny is in his office, and as I said earlier, it's 11:30 to wherever Danny is. So this is absolutely crazy, and we appreciate you so much for deciding to like hopping on and give us a little bit of your time. We know you're super busy because you're like making a lot of money and being successful, so that's okay. But guys, I I met Danny in San Antonio. So Danny actually, because I have a couple people from San Antonio that I don't know if you guys know that, but Danny actually started in Treng's office in San Antonio. And when was it? In May 2021? No,
Around there.
am I around that time, right? I remember I met Danny when I was like just barely being promoted to management. And I thought Danny was like the coolest thing ever. I was like, why is Danny not in my office? I want like people like Danny in my office. So I was super jealous. And then Danny actually moved to organization for Richard's organization in Dallas and got promoted 3 months later. So finished the training program and moved to North Carolina. There's a lot of North and South. I never know which one is which one. So then he moved to North Carolina and started off hot. Like then he literally, since he started management, he did not have like a bad month, bad week. He's just been killing it, making money. Didn't go like under zero ever since he started. And so far, guys, and then he's been promoted after me. So he's kicking my butt very much. So he already have 5 offices open in his organization, and two more in the making. So whatever Danny is doing, it's something that we definitely have to take a lot of notes on and learn from. But one thing about Danny, guys, every time you hear him speak, it's just so great to watch his appreciation for the business and his appreciation for the people that he worked with. And it really shows in everything that he does. So today, the one topic that Danny's gonna run first from our list is actually appreciation for the uplines and appreciation for the business. So I'm super exciting. Danny, to please take over and give us some juice.
Well, thanks, Nat, for that awesome intro. For sure. So I guess I talked to Sahil already. I talked to Nat. They said I can be a little bit more on the just transparent side because y'all are just a sharp group of individuals. I know I see you on the tracker, absolutely crushing it. So I'm really honored to get the chance to speak to all you. I know I see some familiar faces. Hey, Daniel, good to see you again. Right. And so with that being said, I guess, yeah, so good background about me. Like I said, started off in Chang's organization. I think we all know Chang Canavan, just an absolute huge impact on the industry, and learning from her a little bit about the business and how she views her her entire organization and the pride she took, I really wanted to take front of that and be a good part and be edifiable by growing the business as well. And same thing with Richard as well. When he took me under his wing, even though I was starting from ground zero, he treated me like a business partner from day one. So I know that if a manager, someone that I wanted to be in their position, was willing to treat me like a business partner, then I should act like a business partner. And so I think a little bit more, I kind of separated this into two things, mentality and kind of action. Okay. And so one word that I think everyone should at least know in their vocabulary going to the business is called edification. Okay. And y'all probably already heard it. Y'all probably already know it. So I won't get too deep into it, but edification for me is gratitude in action. So whenever whenever we got the chance to speak, whenever we got the chance to be on a platform, whenever I got the chance to speak at conferences, I always wanted people to see my upline before they heard me speak. And I want to do that because I'm a product of my upline and my morals, right? I'm not as good as people always say. I'm as good as Richard and Chang made me. And if I didn't give them the proper appraisal, if I didn't give them the proper gratitude, then I felt like I was doing a disservice to the industry. And same thing with Nat, same thing with Sahil, right? I think that when people get the platform, when they see success, I think we can all agree that it's probably because of our mentoring and our coaching and the patience that they've given us, because this industry is built around mistakes. So like the more mistakes you make, the more growth you receive. And so if we're not if we're not grateful for the patience that our managers have with us, then I feel like sometimes we're lacking a little bit. I think we can agree on that. And so I'm really glad to talk about the topic of gratitude towards your upline, because if you think about it, right, it's really an investment that our managers really make on us. And I'm always telling my people when they build the industry, I'm like, hey, this is not an employee-employer type of relationship. It's a mentor and a mentoree relationship, right? I don't believe in having employees in my business. I believe in having employers going through the employee phase of their life. And when I say that, it's because I'm really I told the guys like, hey, we're looking for 5 companies to open up this year, right? And we're going to get there. I just want to know who wants to be a part of those. And I really treat them like business partners, because that's exactly what Richard did to me. And so really just talking about what edification means to me is it's really like an action word. When you say like I'm appreciative of Nat, or I'm appreciative of Sahil, or I'm appreciative of Shane, right? Shane's your newest promotion, right, Sahil?
Yeah, newest promotion.
Cool. Well, huge congrats to him. First off, I heard he's crushing it. So with that being said, right, if you're on any of these teams, if you're on any of those crews, if you're with any of those uplines, right, I think we can all agree, like, we're really appreciative of the platform we've been given. Like, I don't know many other industries. I don't know of many other industries where we get paid to learn how to run a business. Usually in school, we have to pay thousands of dollars every single semester, every single year, go into debt, just to receive this job hunting license that people call a degree. And it really guarantees us nothing but entitlement, right? And I know that because I got my degree in civil engineering, and all it guaranteed me was about 2 months of unemployment and cubicle work. And so with that being said, going into that debt, right, now I'm debt free, but it's only because of this business. It's only because of Richard, and it's only because of Chang. And my appreciative shouldn't just stand alone in words. It should stand alone in actions as well. And when you couple your actions with your words, that's how you truly show you're appreciative. And I'm here to also not only to preach it, but also to talk about like what happens without it, because so many of us, we get into this executive-itis sometimes when we get that promotion, or we get that leadership, or when we get that big crew, we kind of forget our roots a little bit. And the business has a beautiful way of humbling us a little bit, because when we get into that facade of like, oh, I made it mentality, right? Can we all agree that's when things start going a little bit downhill, right? And so it's kind of funny because I got really hot. I'm like, hey, you see me, Richard, I'm building a crew. I got 2 leaders on my crew, and in 1 month, I got 6 people starting next week. I've been high rolling. I made it. Promote me, right? And then right after, boom, someone's stubbed their toe on their desk, so they're out for 4 weeks straight, and then someone's cat has the sniffles, so they quit, and all this stuff, right? All this stuff goes downhill, and you're right back to square one, and you're like, just kidding, Richard, can I get some more coaching? Right? And so with that being said, I think that the biggest thing that makes people successful, I think we can all agree when we see these speakers speak, is the amount of humbleness that they have to their success, right? And so when people talk about being appreciative, I always tell people to stray away from reading your press clippings, right? Like I really don't see some of the best athletes in the world, like LeBron James or Kobe Bryant or Michael Jordan, right? I don't see them looking up YouTube highlights of themselves, watching their press clippings, watching their highlight reels, watching their recordings, right? They're watching film on their mistakes actually. And they're learning how to get better. They're learning how to go ahead and improve. And it's because they want to go ahead and edify the team. They want to go ahead and build the culture. They want to go ahead and build the championship, right? And I think one of the favorite things I always like to say is if you've ever seen like the interview with Kobe Bryant, they're up 2-0 on when they were winning a championship. And he's like, you're not even happy about it. And he's like, what do I have to be happy about? Like the job's not done. Okay. The team's not where it needs to be yet. Like we don't have a championship under our ring. He's like, I'm grateful that we're working hard. I'm grateful for the team we've been giving, but we still got work to do. And someone with that mentality, not even in our industry, that's just focused on winning is so powerful, right? And so what I like to talk about is how to be appreciative in the business. Because for me, when people are like, oh, Danny, you're crushing it. Oh, you're going to be qualified for RC by 2023. I really don't see it as me being qualified for RC. I think about it as I just listened to Richard's coaching enough to see success. Like I wanted Richard to be the best NC that this industry has ever heard, right? I wanted my upline's goals to be my goals long enough so I can attract people on my downline where my goals were their goals. And I wanted to build a culture of appreciativeness because when you put your upline's goals at the forefront of your actions, it's really hard to let the team down, right? Because if I'm like, oh, I want to get promoted to mastermind. Oh, I want to get promoted to level 2 or whatever terms y'all use. If you let it like that, it's really easy to let yourself fall short of the goals. It's the same way. Like by show of hands with the people who actually do have their cameras on. Thank y'all. Like, have any of y'all ever like signed up for like a gym membership? Raise your hand. Or ever tried to start working out? Okay, so a lot of us, right? Raise your hand if you still go to the gym every single day. 90% of hands go down, right? Shout out to you, Zoom user. Okay, you're impressive. Discipline equals freedom, always. Okay, and so with that being said, 95% of us, our hands go down, and the reason why is because it was just us and us alone. But imagine if everyone on this call signed up for a Zoom, signed up for a gym membership. If I don't show up, Nat's calling me like, hey, yo, what's going on? Like we signed up together. Where are we at? And so with that being said, right, when you attach yourself to a team vision, when you attach yourself to a team goal, it's really hard to let your actions fall below the level of standard that's really important to the office. Right. And so for me, it's like, okay, what does Richard appreciate? What does your manager appreciate? If Sahil talked about in the morning meeting, he wants people to extra mile if they don't have their goals hit, I want Sahil to point at me because I'm in the field after hours if the goal isn't met. And I wanted to be the best example. I wanted to be the blueprint for the next promotion out. I'm telling Nat, hey, how many offices do we want to open up this year? She says 4. Okay, dibs on one of them. Okay, what is the perfect manager for you? So I can start embodying those qualities. Because appreciation is an action word. Okay, I want to say that one more time for y'all. Appreciation is an action word. So many times people we're really grateful in our words, but we're ungrateful in our actions. And what I mean by that is we want to talk the talk, but then we get the bad territory and we're like, oh, sorry, Sahil, I did 0. I can't high roll today. Or hey, sorry, my second round interview didn't show up. Sahil, why aren't you giving me better interviews? And so many times we become unappreciative because the results aren't there, but we can't get mad at the results that we don't have for the work ethic that we didn't put in. Okay. And with that being said, appreciation is an action word, right? So if I want to be appreciative to Nat or Sahil or Shane, I want to show up an hour early before anyone else is supposed to come into the office. If Atmos starts at 10, I'm showing up at 9. If leaders meeting starts at 8, I'm showing up at 7:30. If the goal for entry levels is 3, I want to do 5. Right? I want to be appreciative, so I'm going to read every single day. I want to be appreciative to the industry, so I'm going to network out 2 to 5 times a week. Okay, I want to be appreciative to everything that I've been giving, so I'm going to go ahead and teach a team of 5 to 8 people how to do the same thing. Right? Like if we're really appreciative for the industry, go build 5 leaders. Right? And if you're appreciative to get the chance to run your own company, treat it like it's your own company today. Don't come back if the goal isn't met. Right? Appreciation is an action word. And if the action is lacking, then the appreciation isn't met. And that's the way I always viewed it. And people always ask me, hey, Danny, how did you get promoted in 3.5, 4 months after joining Richard's organization? And it's because I was just the most appreciative, genuinely. And I don't want to sound unhumble, and I don't want to sound like I'm bragging, right? I'm just trying to build credentials. It's just that I wanted to be the person that Richard pointed at when he was looking for an example. I wanted to be the shout out. I wanted to be the person high rolling, and not so I can get the shout out, but because I wanted Richard to be the most edifiable owner. And I know that in turn, if I kept talking about Richard's goals, if I kept talking about Sahil's goals, if I kept talking about Shane getting rookie owner of the year, then I would start building a crew. I would start hiring a team that has the same level of appreciation for my goals as well. And I think so many times, I think we forget that nobody signed an Indeed ad to get Danny promoted, or no one signed an Indeed ad to get your name, fill in the blank, promoted to manager. And sometimes we treat the industry as if people were getting hired to get us to the next level. And that's really not it, right? The main goal is to go ahead and treat 5 to 10 people like business partners, to where you can coach, develop, mentor, and elevate them in the training, personal leadership skills, and in their mentality, to the point where they envision themselves running a business themselves. And if we can't envision ourselves like that, then we're just not that appreciative of the coaching and the mentorship we've been given. And so with that being said, I experienced 2 kind of offices that were appreciative and not so appreciative, right? Because when I became unappreciative for the industry and I stopped going to the field as a rookie owner, or when I became unappreciative of the opportunity and I started living above my means, or trying to maybe not go to the field some days, or maybe get out of work a little bit early, or not show up for Saturday calls, or not show up for leaders meetings, I started hiring people that were not appreciative. I started hiring people that weren't grateful. I started hiring people that were gossiping in the Atmo room, right? And you start to go ahead and build a culture around that, of people that are more using the culture for their own gossip, rather than a culture that's conducive to growth. And nobody wants to work on that. I mean, by raise of hands, how many of us quit our last job or worked in a job where there's nothing but gossip and side chit chat and all that chatter between it? And that really turned us off. I know for a fact, I work in the food industry, and I don't know what it is about the food industry that attracts the gossip. Oh my gosh. Okay. And they're like, "Ooh, did you hear what she said?" I'm like, "No, I'm just clocking in to get out of here." Okay. Like, leave me alone. And so when I came into this industry, so many of us see the family culture. I think so many of us see the tight-knit camaraderie, and we use it to talk about our own selfish gain. And I know, because I did the same thing, right? I used to be terrible at it. "Hey, did you see me yesterday? Did you see me on the tracker? Did you see all those juice boxes on the national tracker? I was crushing it, bro." And it was just the point where it was like, if you're the one that has to talk about your own achievements, then it's not really that much of an achievement. I wanted my upline to talk about my success. I wanted my mentor to talk about my success. And that way they could give me a platform to where I can go and coach, train 5 to 10 people, because I had the edification from my upline. And I've experienced 2 offices, one that was conducive to growth, one that was conducive to gossip, one that wasn't really appreciative, one that was calling in at the slightest thing, right? Like, if I was appreciative, I wasn't calling in every 2 weeks or having life issues. Okay. If I was appreciative, I was showing up despite the sniffles. I was taking up some vitamin C and showing up, because I've never heard of someone making 6 figures who works on 40 hours a week. Okay. And I tell people all the time, there's not a briefcase of 100K waiting for you at the end of 6 months. No, the start line is after you get promoted. And that's when the appreciation starts to go ahead and show. Right? The morals, the ethics, the team we build within the 6 months determines our level of income in management. And with that being said, Sahil is such a great example of that, because this man is so appreciative to his cross lines. He's so appreciative to the network, the resourcing out. He's like, "Hey, Danny, can you run this call?" I'm like, "Bro, please. I would love to run a call for you," because he's just crushing it. He's what, 20 years old, 21 years old, and absolutely just crushing it. Like, and he's so mature. He's so sophisticated that I think some of us sometimes take it for granted that we're like, "Oh, Sahil's so cool. He's my age, so I'm gonna just not call in." So because he gets me. And if I wanted to be appreciative, I wasn't going out on Friday night and showing up to Saturday at Mo hungover. If I was appreciative, I wasn't staying out late night taking my cross lines to the parties. Instead, I was starting book clubs. I was running workshops. I was networking out. I was posting my notes. I was posting my book that I was reading. If I was appreciative, I was adding to the culture rather than taking away from it. And I think that usually the next manager is the one that's the most grateful to mentorship. The one that's absolutely trying to qualify to go to the conferences that are coming up. The one that's trying to qualify to hang out with Sahil. The one that's trying to qualify to stay back in the Atmo and just sticking to him, like belt looping with Sahil, trying to learn a little bit of what makes him so successful. And I think if more leaders, more top leaders get into that mentality of like, I'm going to be so appreciative by being the best example, then you're going to see your life change in 6 weeks. Because the best thing Richard ever told me was that the 6 months of training starts after you start envisioning yourself in management. Right? The training starts when you start envisioning yourself becoming a manager, when you start envisioning yourself be that appreciative, that pillar, that core foundation of the office. And when more people start taking pride of, like, the captain is way more influential to the team than the coach. And Richard told me that, and he says, hey, what message do you want to go ahead and speak to the team? What message do you want to be at the forefront of this week? That way I can be the body. Because think about it, right? If Sahil, which is the coach of the office, goes into the Atmo room and he's like, guys, what are we doing? Why are we not working hard? We gotta go ahead and hit this goal, all this. Some of us are going to be like, okay, we got to work hard, but there's going to be a certain amount of people, not a lot, but just a few, that are like, oh, Sahil just wants to make more money. But imagine if the next mastermind, imagine if the next assistant manager, imagine if the next top leader is like, hey guys, the energy's bad. Let's go ahead and reboot. Let's get our energy right. And this is an energy of not champions. So let's go ahead and let's start working hard. Let's start going at it hard, 10 times way harder. Now the message of the crew is like, all right, guys, come on, let's pick it up. Because the voice of the captain is so much more influential to the team than the coach. And I just knew that right away. So I wanted to be the voice of whatever Richard wanted to message the team. And if more people on the crew are thinking this way, then you just start building a crew of people that are just absolutely just focused on management, not focused on the gossip. And I hope that helps a little bit, because it's one thing that my office had to go through. And it definitely did hurt. It detracts real leadership. It really retracts. That's what I was trying to think about, right? It goes ahead and reflects onto the people that are here for the wrong reasons, and it's not an environment conducive to growth. And so if I can just go ahead and share my story, I think that would be the best part about it, because Sahil and Natnat are going to be huge players in this business. Same thing with Shane. And so if I can go ahead and help by sharing my story, I know some people will go ahead and be like, yep, I got to pick it up, and come into the office fired up, ready to go, showing up early, hitting the goals, staying late, showing up to leaders meetings, taking out the second rounds, being the first one to train people. And some people won't apply it. And then you'll know which ones are the next managers. Hopefully I can say all that, Sahil.
Please tell us.
So I guess that was a little bit of what I had to share for y'all guys. Appreciation is an action word. It's something that has really goes ahead and pushes the business forward. And hopefully that wasn't too straightforward. Hopefully I didn't hurt anybody's feelings. But if I did, just know it's a free country. So you're allowed to not get your feelings hurt.
So good. So guys, this is why Danny's so successful. Hope you guys took a lot of notes. But is there any questions? And meanwhile, Danny, do you mind putting your phone number so we can spam your phone forever?
Yes.
But is there any questions for Danny, guys? Anything at all?
Please, because I know I spoke in cursive.
I think you should have questions.
I would love to answer any questions.
I have a question.
Oh, okay. Press. Then go ahead.
So, Danny, I wanted to ask, what was the biggest shift for you coming from the two different offices? I know like one was like gossip and everything like that, but then you go to one that's super appreciative. What do you think was the biggest thing, like besides appreciation, that like was the motivating factor for that office being successful?
That's such a good question, Preston. And my biggest thing is it's not only mentality, it's not only gratitude, but I think the single most important factor for the next managers is association. Who is the biggest echo in your ear? Right? Because if you were to check, like I tell people all the time, hey, check your phone and look at the last 10 text messages. How many of them are better than you? How many of them have a bank account that you would switch with? Right? How many of them would you want are in the place that you want to be? And if they're not better than you, get a new set of friends. Because if you want to catch a cold, you hang out with people that have a cold. Okay, if you want to be a millionaire, hang out with some millionaires. Because if you're the best in the room, then you're in the wrong room. So the number one thing I teach people is the level of association you have determines your income. So who is speaking into your ear? Is it the negative Nancy's that are telling you, hey, you changed, quit the business, like you don't even get to hang out with us no more, you have no life, right? Those are also the same people that when you get promoted are asking you for a job, right? And my friends, I've been in that situation where my friends are like, hey, Danny, you don't even hang out with us no more. And they're like, come on, just Friday night, come Friday night. And my friends look forward to so much Friday nights that now their Friday nights are Sahil and that's lives. Right. And so the level of association is really important because I wanted to hang around winners. And in order to do that, I had to put myself in the room where it made me uncomfortable. So I had to be okay with being uncomfortable. I had to be okay with getting the hard feedback. So the biggest thing that separates a good office between a bad office is do you seek out mentorship? Do you seek out to apply the feedback that you're lacking to become the best manager possible? Great question though, Preston.
Great answer. Thank you.
Linda, I think you have a question.
Appreciate it. Thank you.
Yes. So I was just going to ask, like, how do you kind of like push your people to have like that same like to talk to somebody, like to network?
To network. I tell people like, hey, I've read a lot of books. Okay. I've read a ton of books, but why read books when there's walking success stories out there? Because and your name is what again?
Linda.
I didn't hear it, but I'm a Say Zoom user.
Linda.
Linda?
Yeah, there you go.
Cool.
Sorry,
Linda.
because it's connected to the car.
No, you're okay. So Linda, how old are you?
21.
21. You've been in the business how long?
6 months.
6 months. Okay. What did you do before this?
I was going to college, then I was waitressing. Same as you.
Waitressing. Okay. So waitressing, right? So me and Linda, like we have about maybe the same age between me and you. That's all we have in common. So if you go ahead and get started in my office, you're right. I can coach you. I can mentor you all I want. But imagine if I go ahead and find a 21-year-old, which is actually Yvonne in San Francisco, who did waitressing before this. And I put you on a call with her for 15 minutes. And I said, hey, Linda, there's this super sharp girl. She just finished the business. She's 20 years old and actually running her entire own office in San Francisco. I think that y'all should hop on a call for 15 minutes. And I do the heavy lifting once. And then I come back and say, hey, Linda, how was the call? You're going to tell me, hey, it was actually super cool. We actually went ahead and we have a lot in common, right? And I'm like, hey, imagine if you did this twice a week. Do you think you'd be better or worse than your competition? And Linda's going to say better, right? And I'm like, okay, so every week, come back to me with 2 people that you go ahead and network out with. That way you can start meeting people outside of just this office, because this industry is huge. I think in just water, there's 37 owners, and the 5G program that I do, there's 52. So just between 2 programs, there's 100 owners. So if I want to build a team, I can't. I'm gonna indefinitely hire someone that's different from me. This business attracts all different backgrounds. So I'm not gonna try and think I know it all by trying to build a team myself. Instead, I'm a resource out, network out with someone with your background, okay, your type of mentality, your type of personality, put you on a call together, because I want Linda to see herself in management. And the only way to do that is to put someone with her background and her type, same personality in the same room as each other.
Mm. And you would just kind of like tell them that, and I see it.
Yeah. And
Thank
if you're
you.
trying to, and the best thing is like, be a good steward of what you teach. So like, don't ask someone to do something if you're not doing it yourself. Like, it's like me telling people, hey, go do 6, and they see me go out to the field and I do 0. Like, now that just makes me a hypocrite, right? So if I want to be appreciative, I'm just gonna, if I want to do 6, I'm gonna do 8 in front of someone, because people do only half of what you do right. So with that being said, right, like if you're telling people to network out, post your networking calls on the chat. Be a huge person of chat engagement, right? And be like, oh, just networked out with this awesome owner on the East Coast. Can't wait to talk to them again. And then you're going to start building a culture of people that want to network out too.
Yeah. Yeah. Thank you.
Make sense?
It was just-
No problem. Happy to serve.
All right. Anybody else has a question before we wrap it up, guys? Anybody?
Lene?
I got here kind of like 2 minutes late. I just wanted to ask a quick question. I don't know if you did respond to this question already, but we've been talking a lot about the valley of despair, right? I mean, there's ups and downs throughout the whole program, right? Like, how was it when you had like the valley of despair, when like you had the moment where you can say like it wasn't for you? Was there a time like you wanted to give up but you didn't? And like, how did you deal with that? Was it like a big struggle, small struggles? Because obviously not everything's perfect. So like, what was like one of your biggest struggles you had?
Absolutely not. I was perfect the entire way through. No, I'm just kidding, brother. No, so no, hands down. I think the person that succeeds the most is the one that's most willing to fail. So hopefully I can recommend books on here. Is that okay to do, Sahil?
We love
So the book I just finished, I literally pulled it out as you're talking about the Valley of Despair. It's called Entrepreneurship Roller Coaster. Okay, it's a book that I would recommend to everyone that is going through ups and downs in their business, because it talks about how to turn negatives into positives. And so one of the biggest I guess pitfalls that I had in the last year was that I had to switch programs, or I didn't really have to, but I got the chance to switch programs. And so I actually switched. I got promoted in water, and then had to switch over to 5G. And with that being said, there is a lot more product knowledge. There's a lot more maintenance. There's a lot more behind the scenes that goes into 5G. And so it really brought out the negatives of my ownership capabilities, because it taught me that I needed more organization, I needed more structure, and I needed more communication. And so I struggled for a while. And it was probably one of the hardest things that I've ever had to go through in ownership. But I'm so glad that I got through it, because everything I know now I can coach my next promotion on my pitfalls, on my despair, on my valley of despair, on my negatives. Because what you're going through, what's your name again, brother?
My name is Miguel Mercer.
Miguel. Okay. So I want you to, I'm going to say a little quote that I read in this book specifically. And it says failure is adversity dressed in success. Right. And so with that being said, if you get into the mentality of that everything that you're going through is just the avenue to get to where you want to be, then you're like, it's the same way with the doors, right? Like you say the same pitch 40 times, right? You say the same pitch 40 times. Is everyone going to say yes, Miguel? But does that mean your pitch is bad?
No.
Right? That means that you're just the yes is the destination, but no is the journey. So wherever you want to be, right? What you're going through right now is just the avenue to get there. Just because you train one person and they quit doesn't mean that you're a bad trainer. It just means that you maybe need to work on second rounds a little bit to hire a sharp person.
Right.
Make sense?
Yeah.
And so with that being said, the biggest pitfalls I had was that I just couldn't get into the mentality that adversity is good. Like, this is good. Everything you go through, just tell yourself, hey, this is good.
Right. Just feeling comfortable, feeling uncomfortable.
Yeah, like get into the mentality of where you have to be okay with messing up. You have to be okay with messing up a pitch. You have to be okay with messing up on a day one trainee. You have to be okay with messing up on a breakdown. You have to be okay with messing up an interview. Because the more comfortable you get with messing up, the more open you are to receiving feedback. And growth comes from feedback. It doesn't come from tell me who's ever learned from succeeding every time.
No.
Not really anyone. Right. And so I never wanted to have a straight line to success, because then I would be so unrelatable to everyone else in the business.
Thank you so much. I just want to say congratulations on your whole journey. Thank you for the call. I appreciate your time. Thank you so much.
I like this guy.
Awesome. Any other questions, guys? Anything else? Speak now or forever hold your peace.
Yeah, I got a question. This is Amir.
Oh, sorry.
What's up, man? Nice to
Hey,
meet you.
Amir.
So could I ask you first, my first question? What's the name of your business?
The name of my business is, I think I was gonna point behind me. No, I'm not in there. Impulsum Inc.
Say it again.
Impulsum Inc. I'll put it in the chat. It's
Put
Put
loud.
in the chat so everybody can follow.
Could I
Everybody-
ask you why is Impulsive Inc. necessary? Like what do you have? What do you guys offer? What makes you guys special than any other branch?
What? Say that question again.
What makes Impulsive Inc. necessary?
Like special, I guess.
Yeah.
Absolutely nothing, brother. I'm not special, right? I think I'm an ordinary person in an extraordinary vehicle. I think Larry's special. I think Richard's special. I think I just am a product of my upline, and so I genuinely think that the longer I can go ahead and edify Richard, that I'm only special because of the organization I'm a part of, not because of any of the success I've had.
Yeah. Appreciate it.
No problem. Very straightforward answer. He's got a lot of confidence on that one. I love him.
Anything else, guys? Guys, if you can please copy and paste Impulsum Inc. in your Instagram and like follow it, that would be great.
The YouTube as well. I post all my meetings on there, so feel free to follow it.
That's very good. If you want to be successful, I would totally do that. I already follow everything for Danny, so that's great. But guys,
It's a Jew.
yeah, Danny's pretty crazy. You can post Danny in your YouTube and everything, so everybody can follow and have an easy access, because it takes time to type it. So let's click it on it. But guys, I'm sorry by the way for my voice. I'm like lost my voice. I was screaming at Christian recently. But one more time, thank you so much for everybody hopping on, and huge thank you to Danny for taking time and really speaking to us. And in this one topic, I think we all learned. I learned so much. I put so much notes on my phone of like little quotes I'm gonna use for you guys all the time. So everybody from my office, you will literally hear me speaking like Danny for the rest of the week, which is awesome. Because we definitely see why you're so successful. So it's just so fun to watch the journey and seeing Danny starting from entry level, just like majority of you guys here, and really growing to the person he is today, and seeing 5 promotions, 2 more on the deck, and really growing to the person he is today. And it's the appreciation, it's the books he's reading and everything that he does. Like literally did not have to, but it's on a call with us at midnight, not getting paid for it, anything crazy. It's just literally because he cares about you guys and cares for you being successful and have the same journey. So we really thank you so much for hopping on, everybody. I appreciate you hopping on my calls every week, and it's just so fun to see the group getting bigger and bigger, because we started with a couple people. Now we have so many different offices today, and it's not for me, it's for Danny, but I still appreciate it. So we will meet again next Tuesday, guys, for another speaker, another subject. And one more time, thank you so much. Everybody has a great night, and we'll chat soon. Have a good one.
Bye, guys. Thank you, Danny.
Thank you, Danny. Always.